School-based condom availability in southeastern Virginia, a community perspective.
Hello, my name is Alicia-Dickens, and I am a nurse practitioner, HIV specialist. I work in the southeastern Virginia clinic, and unfortunately lately we've been seeing a lot of young adults come into the clinic who are HIV positive. Many of them contract HIV on their first sexual experience. I wanted to produce this video clip in support of school-based condom availability. It is broken into 3 segments. The first segment is the young adult perspective. The second segment is the provider perspective. The third segment is a snapshot into what other states are doing in terms of HIV prevention, pregnancy prevention, STD prevention, and school-based condom availability. Please watch and learn.
What are your thoughts about having condoms available in high school?
Well, the reason I think condoms should be available in high school is because I know coming from my high school, it was a number of teenage pregnancies and abortions and just everything, repeated times. So I think if condoms were available, that could at least take away the embarrassment of going to the store and the shame of buying it, and they can just get them.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people, they tell me that they don't really like getting condoms because they don't like to purchase them themselves. So I think that it's a really good idea that they are available to have them for free so that they can reduce the possibilities of contracting an STD or even getting pregnant.
Yeah, I can even recall like a number of my friends getting STDs and just me being shocked as like we're in high school, like we still have a long way to go, so getting a STD so early in life is just bizarre to me.
Do you think teens would be embarrassed about asking the nurse for condoms in school?
Well, I think that they might be initially, but I think that that's why it's also important not just for them to provide them the condoms, but, give them information and educate them on just about, having sex at such an early age in general. So first, they originally need to be educated on, having sex and the risks that come with having sex and why it is so important to use protection.
Honestly, I don't think anybody would be embarrassed going into the nurse to get condoms because boys these days use it as cool points. So I think even them manning up and going to the nurse, they're going to be looked at like with so much status.
What is your professional opinion as a women's health nurse practitioner about providing school-based condoms for teenagers?
I think school-based condoms really just make sense. Kids spend the majority of their time at school. It's probably the one location where they are consistently or should be consistently during the week. We give them insurance for their vehicles. We provide them with medical insurance just in case so they don't, hopefully they never need it, but then we don't provide them with ways to protect themselves. It seems like teenagers these days, we're always asking them to do the right thing, but not necessarily giving them the means to do so. So it seems like it just makes sense. I see kids all the time with STDs who have either gotten it from people they're with at school, but nowadays with the trend with how connected all of our youth are between things like Facebook, Twitter, email, text messaging, Skype, they really have the means to be connected to so many more people than they did 20 to 30 years ago. So their opportunity to build relationships and get connected with people of all ages and all backgrounds with all types of STD history is really quite profound. So it seems like giving them the means and making it accessible to them is probably the best thing we can do for their health and their bodies.
What is the age of the youngest girl you have seen in your office who has been either pregnant or had an STD?
The youngest age person that I've heard, and she was not my patient, was 9. In our area, we've had 2 9-year-olds who have been pregnant. The youngest person I've taken care of pregnant has been 14. The father of the baby was 14, but I've also seen 14-year-olds with their father, their babies have been 18 or 22 or 24. And it's really sad because, you know, they're so unprepared for parenthood, the responsibilities that go along with that, but the exposure that they have by the time they get pregnant. If you're thinking theoretically that majority of patients aren't necessarily getting pregnant on their first sexual experience, it's probably 2, 3, 4, 5 sexual experiences down the road before they're actually becoming pregnant. You really have quite a bit of opportunity, and it's really a childhood lost.
Have patients ever mentioned to you why they did not use condoms?
Part of it just goes along with the general age and the mentality of teenagers. They're risk takers. They don't necessarily believe that it's happening to them, and the fact that they know the person, which I'm using the term knowing loosely, they go to school with them, they talk to them on the regular, that really takes away some of the fear that you would typically have with other types of situations. So I think a lot of times they understand that that's a risk, but that fear that should be there really isn't there as much as it should be.
You have just seen 3 segments in support of school-based condoms. If you have the opportunity to support school-based condoms in your child's school, please consider it. HIV infection is no joke. We want to prevent the sexual transmission of HIV. We want to prevent teen pregnancies and STD infection. Thank you.